Hello everyone, welcome back to the farm on this lovely Sunday afternoon, and in today's video I thought I'd answer some of your questions which we've been asking over the last few years, and we finally now got some time to answer them. My name's Ollie and I've grown up on this farm for about 20 years now, 25 years. I'm a second generation farmer. My dad, he's from Shropshire originally, from the West Country, and my mum as well is actually from down south towards Suffolk, and together they've been able to work hard. My dad has started out as a shepherd, and my mum's always been an avid businesswoman, and they both worked really, really hard to buy the family farm where we're at now, which is here in Norfolk. So it's about 200 acres in arable size, and there's 300 acres of grassland, which is on the wonderful Broads National Park. We farm livestock and crops, so we've got sheep, cattle, and arable as well. In the rotation, we've got sugar beet, spring barley, fodder beet for feeding the cattle, cover crops of turnips, and also we grow potatoes, as a lot of you guys know as well. And we also do the odd bit of grass for silage at this farm, but most of our silage comes from the Broads National Park, which is just down the road from this farm where we are now. So there's lots going on, and I thought I'd tell you a bit about my story and how I got into farming growing up with mum and dad. So when I was growing up, I went to school just as everyone does, and I've never really liked school that much, but I worked as hard as I could through school, got to 16, left school, and when I was 17 I actually went to work on a farm in Europe, in the Czech Republic, and then after that went to work on a farm in Germany, and I then came back here to the UK and worked harvests around the country in Oxfordshire, Suffolk, Norfolk, and also as well down in Essex. And then that started a journey when I was in Essex, learning about agriculture at Writtle Agricultural College. And I studied general agriculture at Writtle University College for 3 years. I really enjoyed it, and then I left agricultural college, and then I went and worked in farming for other people around here for another year. And then I returned back here to the farm, and I've started my Olly's Farm social media brand, which is about farming, tractor restorations, visiting shows, going and doing lots of cool things in agriculture, seeing what's going on in the agricultural scene. It's not been easy over this last year with COVID, although I do try to retain a positive mindset. And the reason why I always go on about having a positive mindset is that, you don't really get anything done in life without being positive. And I think the trouble is, in farming in the UK, it's such a negative time at the moment with the way prices are, the cost of production, the price of land. It's very easy to be negative and to be down in the dumps. So I try my hardest to maintain the positive mindset and just knowing that, one day it will pay off. And already it's paying off, because as you can see behind me, this year I bought myself a Land Rover Defender, and it was thanks to Olly's Farm and the social media business that I bought this Land Rover Defender. My mum and dad have never given me anything on the farm. They've never even paid me. I've never earned a wage off the farm. Everything I earn has had to be through Olly's Farm, through making a business for myself, and it's something which both my parents were very insistent of when I was growing up on the farm. And I think as a result, it's made me more hungry to get out there in the world and to get things for myself, to make my own living, to make my own way. And it's probably not been a bad thing, if you know what I mean. And I've managed to buy the Pottinger cultivator, the Tanko bale wrapper, all of the cherry attachments, Fleming attachments. Olly's Farm's also got brand deals now, which it never had before. So now we work with agricultural machinery companies who manufacture goods in the agricultural industry, and we partner with them to promote their products, but also to use them on our farm. And I'm sure everybody loves a good deal on a piece of equipment, so we generally get a good discount on a piece of equipment, and in return we'll show it on the channel and we'll show what it's about. And it works really well, and I'm really appreciative of everybody who's been watching over the last few years, because as you can see behind me, it's managed to, we've already been able to acquire quite a bit of equipment and machinery, but it never started off as that. It never started off as, a business to make money out of. Funnily enough, I was just mucking out the sheds on the farm with our old loader many years ago, and just being passionate about farming, I got a camera for my birthday, took a video of the JCB mucking out the sheds, and it got 400,000 views, I think, in 2 weeks, and I had 2,000 subscribers. And then since then, I've just started speaking to you guys, and I think we all get on now as friends. And I've worked really hard to build up the community, and I'm continually trying to build up the community, the Olly's Farm community. And it's not easy. I think a lot of people seem to think that social media is a really easy game. It's bloody difficult, actually. And when you've got to farm, do your farm work, film, edit, upload, you get very tired very quickly. And I just wish that people knew what it was actually like, if you know what I mean. I think the older generation sometimes, they dismiss social media so quickly as this, as something which is a load of rubbish, a load of old crap, a lot of farmers will say. But actually, I think the younger generation can use it to their advantage. And I think social media probably is more for the younger generation, really. And in the next couple of weeks, actually, we've got some brilliant farm tours planned and also shows. We're going to the Midlands Machinery Show, which is going to be fantastic. Unfortunately, we couldn't go to the Henham Steam Rally, which was one I was really keen on, but due to COVID, that's been cancelled. A number of shows actually have been cancelled. And luckily, I can confirm now that we are going to the Agritechnica show next year, which has been delayed until March. But that's the world's largest machinery show in Germany, and we will be able to go to that. So we're going to that looking at silage equipment, mowers, and also balers as well. Now, on another subject, with the tractor collection at the moment, we're rebuilding the old 434, which is just over there. That's going to head off this winter and go to the scraper yard. That's going to clean out the cattle over the winter. We're looking at another tractor to join the 135. The 135 will be finished literally in the next few weeks now, and we need something else to go with it. I've been looking recently at the Massey Ferguson 65 multi-power, which is a rare tractor. So if anybody's got a 65 multi-power they'd love to sell and see on the channel, do let us know, because that's something which we're really interested in here, is a Massey Ferguson 65 with multi-power. And also another tractor which would be lovely for the channel would be a Massey Ferguson 35X, which is a rare tractor and you don't see very many of them now. So we want to build up the Massey collection. And other tractors, a lot of people ask, is there anything else which you've been interested in? Well, many, many years ago, my granddad, who grew up in Wales, they had a farm in Wales, and granddad, he actually worked for Fulwood, the dairy milking company. He had a Fordson Standard, and there's a funny story actually about that tractor. The granddad went into a machinery showroom. This was like in the 1950s or 60s. And he was in this machinery showroom, and there was a Ferguson TE20 and a Fordson Standard. And Grandad's dad, my great-granddad, he was known to be tight when it came to buying tractors. And Grandad walked in, he was a young man, he was only about my age, he was just younger than me, he was 24. An interesting story about the Ferguson TE20 was that, that was like the tractor to have, because it had the rear linkage, the hydraulic spool, PTO, whereas the Fordson just had a standard drawbar. And, Grandad, he had been working with a horse for many years before. That's why Grandad and his father, I know it sounds a bit complicated, they were going to buy a tractor for the first time because they had a horse and they were moving from the horse to a tractor. And he always used to tell me this story. It was the last story he told me actually before he died, only a few years ago. And he really wanted a Ferguson TE20. And in the end, my great-granddad, he bought him a Fordson Standard. And it didn't have new tyres on it either. It just had steel wheels, and they were going to put a set of tyres on it. In the end, they didn't actually put rubber tyres on, they put retreaded tyres on, because my great-granddad couldn't afford to buy new tyres. So can you imagine that? Farming in Wales, you couldn't afford a new pair of tyres or the Ferguson TE20, and that's how it was. So I feel as though at some point we should buy a Ferguson TE20 in homage to Grandad, the tractor he never had and always wanted. It was actually the paraffin back then, but I think we could probably find a diesel. And I think that would be quite a nice thing to do. You have to leave a comment in the comment section down below if you think that would be a good thing to do. And then, and then the 35X, 65 I like. I did see a 65R today, which is an industrial yellow spec county council one. But I think we'll just go for a red and grey one, which would be quite nice. There's quite a few interesting stories actually about the farm and about family members and what's gone on over the years. So a Fordson Standard. So Grandad had that Fordson Standard for many years until they actually sold that farm. Then the farm was sold. So if you imagine my granddad was my age, he was 25, and they sold the farm in Wales, and then my Grandad had to leave the farm, and then he went to work for Fulwood Dairy Company, fitting parlours across Europe and also in this country as well. So sadly they lost the farm. That is quite an interesting story, I think, and it will probably make a bloody good book one day. And it's that's sort of my family. That's the family farm story anyway, where the farms come from and how we got here to here anyway. and it's really important now that we preserve and look after this farm, and perhaps even expand it in whatever capacity we can to keep it going for generations, hopefully, be it in this country or somewhere else or wherever it might be. We've always got to maintain that. So yeah, thanks very much for watching today's video. I hope it's been something a bit different, and I've answered a lot of your questions, which, if there's been any questions you've had about what the farm and Olly's farm and what's been going on. And yeah, just drop a comment in today's video if you've got any more questions. And I'll catch you in tomorrow's video when we get the delivery of the new Collinson feed bin. Catch you in the next one.